What's going on, everybody? It's Zach Tolan, aka Vanilla Rice, and today is the first episode, solo episode of the Rich Off Food podcast. Basically, going to break down, what the Rich Off Food podcast even is, who I am, why am I even qualified to talk about what getting rich off food really is, right? So, Rich Off Food podcast. We already did season one. We're about to start season two. I'm super blessed, super thankful, super appreciative of everybody that's been, commenting, subscribing, sharing the posts. Everybody all the guests that have been on there. I mean, it's just been absolutely incredible. Not only am I learning a lot about the guests, but I'm also learning a lot that I can implement in my own business, right? Because if anybody that's watching this doesn't know who I am, like I said, Zach Tolan, they call me Vanilla Rice. I actually started as a dishwasher at 15 years old at a Japanese restaurant. Excuse me. I own a hibachi restaurant out here. Everybody says, Zach, man, why did you choose hibachi? Why did you choose that? You could have chose cheeseburgers. You could have chose quesadillas. I didn't really choose hibachi or teppanyaki. It chose me. Like I said, dishwasher at 15 years old at an Asian restaurant. Kind of worked my way up the ranks. 19, became a head chef at the restaurant. Grooving, jamming, cooking for celebrities, people like Brad Lee, people like Wayne Allen Root, all that kind of stuff. And it kind of just built like that. I started off with a social media presence, started off with a social media, started posting, and this just kind of grew into this monster that I never even thought it would be. I mean, when I say monster, I mean like a behemoth, right? Like it's just growing. People are supporting. I'm super blessed. And then about 23 years old is when the pandemic happened, jumped out, did my own business, begged my mom to cook in her backyard. One thing just led to another, went from that, went to commercial kitchen, went to food truck broke down. Then I went down to, that's good, sure good. Then I went back to the commercial kitchen to have a restaurant open, then to two restaurants open, then to just back to having one. And I say all this because, right, I'm very transparent, if anybody knows anything about entrepreneurship, it's not a straight path. It's up and down. It's cliche to say, but it's the truth. I'm living, breathing proof. And, just to give, the qualifications on why I can even talk about getting rich off food, because truthfully, in my blood, I don't know anything else. If I was to never do restaurants ever again, I probably wouldn't even be able to get hired anywhere because all I know is food. I'd probably be able to get hired at another restaurant, but if you were like, "Hey, Zach, go put some electrical on the wall, or go, lay up brick wall or something," they'd probably laugh at me, right? So I've been going all in on food. Not only have I been going in on my restaurants, also been going in on the brand, trying to grow just everything surrounding around food. So the Rich Off Food podcast, what it is we interview restaurant owners, food truck owners, foodies, celebrity chefs, anybody in the food space. We're even willing to, interview celebrities that like to eat food. A lot of celebrities these days, if you've noticed, are opening restaurants. So it's a great place to showcase.
We're going to keep this an episode, but we're not supposed to be talking about why you're doing it. We're supposed to be giving game on.
Oh, yeah, we're getting there.
You're taking too long to get there.
We're getting there. We got an hour, bro. We got an hour.
You're taking too long to get there.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there.
We're not editing this out.
We're getting there.
On real.
I don't know who this guy is behind the camera. He just showed up out of nowhere, started yelling at me. No, I'm just playing.
Get to the point.
So truthfully, so that's what it is. That's who I am. That's, why this is even a thing. And, like I said, if you're listening to this, you are wondering why I'm even qualified to talk about this, go back to the beginning. You'll understand. Look us up. Real Vanilla Rice on Instagram, Rich_food, Vanilla Rice LV is my page. So, a few things I really want to tackle today and talk about is truthfully how to get rich off food, how to even get started, I want to drop some game for y'all, some real life gems that help me go from, cooking in my mom's backyard. I mean, even dishwashing all the way up to having a seven-figure earning restaurant, right? And, multiple thousands of followers on Instagram and social media through all my platforms. One major thing that I see, and this goes with any type of business, this goes with anything in general. I mean, it also goes back with working out. It's just being consistent. I see a lot of people that they'll open, when they're just starting out, they'll open once a week, maybe on a Tuesday. Then the next week they'll open up on a Wednesday. Then the next week they'll open up they might not even open, right? And when it comes to building a brand, building a food business, and building something that's actually worth people wanting, you have to be consistent. You have to open the same hours every week. You have to be consistent. You have to excuse me, you have to, make sure that at the end of the day, people are creatures of habit. So if every Tuesday they like to eat your cheeseburgers, and then this Tuesday you're open, next Tuesday you're not open, then the next Tuesday after that you're not open, and then the next Tuesday after that you are open, then Friday you're open, it just gets too. People will just start to forget who you are, because at the end of the day, there's so many restaurants out there in the world that they'll just go find a restaurant that's open on convenient hours for them, because people are a creature of habit, right? I know there's a lady that comes to my restaurant every single Wednesday. It's her hibachi Wednesday. She comes in, she gets a steak and shrimp, she gets a veggie bowl, and she gets Kool-Aid and 2 Cactus coolers. The same thing every single time. Now, what would happen if I was like, this Wednesday I don't feel like opening up, or this Wednesday I can't open up? Well, she's eventually going to need to get her fix somewhere else. So the main thing that I could say when you're first starting out is, if you could just open up one day a week, maybe 2, but minimum 1, try to be consistent. Try to open the same day every single week. Build up habits, build up customers. You have to train your customers. You have to train them. So here's another example. I was open from 4 to 10 for the longest. And now that I'm open from 12 to 12, I have to train my customers that I'm open from 12 to 12. I have to let them know. I have to shout it out. I have to post on social media. Anybody that walks through the door, hey, we're open 12 to 12. Hey, we're open 12 to 12. And if you're just starting out, you can only open on Tuesdays. Hey, I'll see you next Tuesday. Hey, I'm open every Tuesday, every single Tuesday. And just consistency. I have friends that, unfortunately, they've started food businesses around the same time as me. And if they were just as consistent and just followed the simple blueprint of what I was doing, they'd be just as up there as I am. But unfortunately, they're still, either trying to make their way, trying to start out, or they're not even in business anymore. And like I said, because, if you have chicken wings and you want to sell the best chicken wings, they probably pass 10 wing stops just to get to you, to support you. But at one point, when they can't even predict that you're open and it becomes a hassle to get your food, they're just going to go to your competitor to Wingstop, because they can open every single day. So that's one of the main things I want to say, especially when you're starting out. If you can only open one day, just be completely consistent and do not drop the ball on that. That is the major key that I could say. You got any water, bro? I'm over here dying. Where we at on here? You guys have any questions for Vanilla Rice? Let's see. Let's go on here real quick. See if I got any questions on here. When are we rolling out Wayno's Cheesesteaks? So Wayno's Cheesesteaks is coming soon. Right now, I'm super focused on building the Vanilla Rice brand, but my goal is to build a complete restaurant collective, a restaurant group, and so that's going to involve my ice cream shop, this is the first time you guys are hearing this, my ice cream shop, my cheesesteak shop, a passion project for my dad that passed away, and 1,000 restaurants. That's my goal. 1,000 restaurants are my goal. Let's see here. So that's the one thing, is being consistent, at least opening consistently. Even if it's one day a week, open that same day every single week. And here's another one. Here's another thing. I was just telling somebody this on the phone. I got you. Gary Vee says this. A lot of people say this. You make money in your 9 to 5, but you get rich in your 5 to 9. And what does that mean? You have to be able to put out more work than anybody else is able to put out or is willing to put out, right? Cool, brother. I had to get some water up in there. Whew. Throat's getting a little scratchy. So like I was saying, you make money, you pay your bills in your 9 to 5, you get rich in your 5 to 9. What does that mean? Here's a great example. When I started out, so actually before I started Vanilla Rice Hibachi House, I had another company with some friends before the pandemic even happened called Backyard Hibachi. Okay. How did I grow Backyard Hibachi? How did I fulfill Backyard Hibachi? I would work 5 days a week as a head chef at a high-end hibachi teppanyaki restaurant. And my 2 days that I was off, I would open and sell plates in my friend's backyard. Most people would say, oh man, I need my 2 days off, or, oh man, I need I need some time to rest, and don't get me wrong. Was I super consistent like I was saying earlier? Not 100%. I was about 80%. Some weeks, I was burnt out, right? And my customers understood that, because I was so consistent every single week that they're like, you know what, we'll give Zach a week off, right? We'll give Zach a week off. And so the point of me saying this is that if I just was like, oh, I'll just sell plates when I'm not tired or when I feel like it, I would never have got to where I'm at today. The reason I'm at where I'm at today is because I worked a 9 to 5 And then I also built my business in my 5 to 9. Thank you so much for watching the Rich Off Food podcast. If you're a food entrepreneur and you're looking to get on the show, click the link below and we look forward to getting you on the podcast. So if you are working at a job and you truly want to build a food business, you need to be doing it on your time off. And yes, I know we have kids, we have obligations, we have, life. I totally understand, family, right? I totally understand. But you need to figure out a system that's going to work. Look, we're trying to build a business here. We're trying to get rich off food. We're not just doing this just for fun, right? Don't get me wrong. It all starts out fun. It all starts off as a passion project, but it turns into a business. And when we're running a business, you need to put in as many hours as possible. Look, I can't speak on... Well, I got a good question. I can't speak on, I have a lot of business experience, but I can't speak on, like I said, a plumbing business or a welding business or electrician business. But I can tell you this, the fundamentals when trying to grow and build a business are all the same. And the way you should actually look at your job, if it's in the field that you're trying to build a business in, is it's paid training. I got paid to work at that high-end Asian restaurant to learn what to do while building my business. And if that right there, you need to go into work every day with that mindset because look, at the end of the day, yes, you want to be an entrepreneur. You want to get rich off food. You want to transfer into working for yourself. You need, where was I going with this? You need to have the mindset that when you go in, you're learning. Every single day is learning. Every time the how to light a grill, I learned how to light grills. Simple, super simple, right? But one day my food truck, the grill wasn't lighting. Boom. I used to get paid to light grills every day. Now I know how to light the grill. So when you go into your job, and it might be a drag, if it's in the field that you're trying to start a business in, you need to think of it as paid learning. I'm getting paid to learn how to run my business. I know how to cut my steaks for my business from working at my job. I know how to make sauces from making sauces at my job. I know customer service for my business from my job. So that's the way you need to think about this, okay? You need to make money, pay your bills in your 9 to 5. And you're going to get rich in your 9 to 5. I'm sorry to break it to you, but if you think that you're going to just open this business, Joe Rogan or Dana White says this. They said, I want to open my business because I want to be able to set my own hours. And Dana White just looked at the camera and laughed. If you think that you can just set your own hours, and eventually you get there, but when you're first starting and you want to build something big, you're going to be working 24/7. My favorite saying is I didn't want to work a 9 to 5, so I started a business, and now I work 24/7. I'm working right now. I've been working since 6 a.m. I'll be probably working until 10 o'clock tonight. The difference is there's an end goal and a mindset that I want to get to where I want to go, and I have to do what I have to do to get there. We're going to take a question now. Should you start off with a brick and mortar or a food truck? Great question. Truthfully, look, I ain't here to promote nothing illegal, but you should start at your house. You should start selling food at your house, straight up. I can tell you countless amounts of times when I was in the commercial kitchen. It's a share kitchen, so you share it with other companies, other individual companies that all share the same space. Countless amounts of times, I'm seeing these customers, and mind you, this is about $400 a month investment. Your licenses is about another $400. Then you're talking about equipment, another $400. You're talking about a $1,500 to $2,000 investment. And I'll tell you this, in this economy these days, $2,000 is a lot of money. It might not have been back then, but it is now. And look, at the end of the day, the point I'm going to get at, if you're just going to throw away $2,000 because you're not going to be consistent and put in the work, just give me the money. Just give me the money, and I'll help maybe get you a return on your investment. All jokes aside, but the amount of times I see them walking in with their new sign that the owner put on their dry rack cart for them, all this new equipment on there and brand new pots and pans, and I'm about to start my food business out of this commercial kitchen in the back alley of Martin Luther King and Cheyenne. I cannot wait. They are gone in 2 months. the amount that I see is I probably would have $100,000 if everybody that I saw come in there and spent the $2,000 to get open just gave me the money. That's the amount of people I see start this business thinking that it's just going to be easy and I'm just going to get customers and I'm just going to open the doors and people are going to flock in. It does not work like that. So what I recommend is start at your house where you're already paying rent. You got to pay rent to live there. You might as well just start cooking in your kitchen. I have a buddy right now, I'm not going to say his name. He makes $100,000 a month cooking out of his apartment. Versus these people that are putting this huge investment into getting a commercial kitchen. And I'm talking about $2,000 in a commercial kitchen. Don't even get me started. The question was, should I start in a brick and mortar or a food truck? I went and looked at food trucks today. You know how much the food truck I want to buy is? $100,000. And hey, like I said earlier, if you have $100,000 to just throw away because you're not going to put the work in and you're not going to work 24/7, just give it to me because I am. You need to know that your product's even going to sell before you even take the leap. You need to have cash reserves before you even take the leap into such a high investment like a brick and mortar. Oh my God. I would have never started in a brick and mortar. I'm so glad I started where I'm at. And if you take anything from this conversation or this video that you're watching today, please start at your house. The health department ain't going to shut you down. The police are not coming. Do not be scared. I guarantee you have all the equipment under your counter. You have pots and pans. You have ladles and spoons. I mean, you cook for dinner anyway. I hope you do. If you're trying to start a food business, I hope you cook your own dinner. Right? I hope you didn't just see somebody on Instagram with a cool recipe and you're like, hey, I think I'm going to start a food business. Because like I said earlier, if you have the money to do that, just give it to me. Because the amount of work it takes to not only start a brand, but be consistent with cooking. Because everybody thinks, let's go into this real quick. Everybody thinks that when I'm open, that's the only time we're working. Man, Zach only works from 4 to 10. Oh, hold on. Let me sip this real quick. You forgot I was up at 4 in the morning prepping all this to be open from 4 to 10. And then I didn't get home till 1. Woke up the next day at 4 to 5, did it again. And again, and again, and again, and again. And you just think you're going to open the door and people are going to flock into your business and your restaurant? Do you know how many restaurants there are in Las Vegas? I'm not exactly sure of the number, but I've heard it's anywhere from 3,000 anywhere to 7,000, and that's including the Strip. I heard there's 3,000 on the Strip alone. And you think you're going to open up in a commercial kitchen on Cheyenne and MLK, and people are just going to flock to your door. Look, guys, start small, baby steps, grow. I know we all want to be, 7-figure earners, right? We all want to, be self-sustainable, right? We all want to start entrepreneurship so we can not work for the man anymore. Start small. Start with 1 day a week at your house. Post on social media. Hit up your friends. You're going to have to give a lot of food away for free too. The amount of food I give away for free to be able to go to extend myself to the masses make you sick if you knew the numbers of amounts of dollar amounts that of food I give away a month. And I know anybody that follows me on here, sees me doing giveaways every single week. All right, so that's my answer for should I start a brick and mortar or a restaurant. Let's see some more questions. What can the health department do if they catch people doing it illegal? Look, I'll tell you this. The health department, there's so many people that have restaurants that are doing horribly and are disgusting that they are not even worried about the people selling cookies or selling a few meals out of their house, okay? Like I said, baby steps. How I started was I started out of my mom's backyard. It was illegal. I'll be honest. It was not legal. Then once I saved up a little bit of money, I got the commercial kitchen. So instead of prepping at my mom's house now and having carrots in my uncle's fridge, steak in my apartment fridge, and rice in my mom's fridge, I would store my stuff at the commercial kitchen. But I would also cook at my mom's backyard. Then I saved up a little bit more money and I fully started cooking into the restaurant or into the commercial kitchen. And then boom, and then boom, and then boom, and then it just kept going. You have to start like that. Health department ain't coming. If they do come, they'll shut you down, give you a fine. You'll be all right. If you're so busy at your house that the health department's coming to knock, you should have been in a commercial kitchen by now. So let's just put it like that. If the health department's knocking on your door, that just means you're greedy and you don't want to pay rent and actually do it the right way. And that's not how you build the brand. You start like that so people know your concept, and then you build as you go. Let's see here. Let's see, how does one know to transition from a food truck to a brick and mortar? How do I get influencers? Let's see. So how does one network with celebrities, right? I can't speak for everybody, but what I can speak is on my own situation. I was very fortunate enough that where I cooked at, the restaurant I cooked at was in a higher end part of town, and I cooked for a lot of wealthy people. So I built a name for myself there before I even ventured out. Before I even went out on my own business, I was cooking and building a name for myself and building a social media presence before I even left. So when I left the restaurant, people were just following. They're like, man, Zach went from dishwasher to prep cook to chef to head chef to now he's starting his own business, because they watched the whole journey. So with that being said, people have been following me. And when you actually are consistent, it's so rare that people are consistent and people put in the work and people actually follow through on what they say, that it makes you one of a kind, and people want to follow you. They want to follow your story. So word gets around. Vegas is small. I can't speak for every city. Vegas is as big as Vegas is. It's very small. Word gets out. And next thing you know, I'm cooking for a guy that goes to a church with Derek Carr. And the pastor hits him up and goes, hey, I saw you had that hibachi guy. I want to book him for Derek Carr. And then Derek Carr, I cooked for him. Then that went to AJ Cole. Then AJ Cole went to Daniel Carlson. Then now next thing you know, I'm cooking for Max Crosby and all the Raiders and Hunter Renfrow and Jessica Evil Eye and Raul Rosas Jr. And so it's just a snowball effect. When you put in the work and you're consistent and you're actually doing something and that people can respect, word gets out, word gets around, and you actually build a name for yourself. And here's a way to go back to cooking for celebrities, because I've cooked for Sean Porter 4 times. When you build trust with these celebrities, right? Like they're inviting you over to their house. You got to build trust with them. Because look, they don't just want to keep inviting new taco guys to their house or new hibachi guys or new, they found one person that they trust, that they can bring to their house around their kids, around their family, and then you build that that's the next reputation you build. So now I go back to back to back. They're like, why would we hire some other hibachi guy? We know Zach's coming over. He's not a weirdo. He's not over here being a fanboy or a fangirl. He's treating us like a human being. Yeah, I get my pictures. Yeah, I get my clout, because at the end of the day, it's all transactional. They understand that, they're getting a service. I'm trying to build a business. It's all understandable. And as long as you're transparent on what it is, then you should have no problem. That's how I network with celebrities. That's how I got there. Also going out to events, right? I get invited to networking events. I make sure to always go, right? Like, people just think that your restaurant's just going to grow by you being inside of it. No, you got to get out. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. And so it's my goal to shake as many hands as possible. But I do sanitize and wash my hands. All right. Oh, we lost the background. How do I do it? Oh, I got it back. It's just lagging. Let's see. How do I get influencers to actually try my food? How do you get influencers to actually try your food? Well, first of all, if you don't ask, they're never coming. So that's the first part. You need to start sending messages. Start sending messages. There's a lot of influencers that are paid, and this is just the truth. There's a lot of influencers that you have to pay to come out, and there's a lot that will do it for free, because look, at the end of the day, you're trying to build your brand. They're trying to build their influencer brand. So as much as you need the influencers' followers, they need the content. So, start like that, right? And one thing that I've noticed about influencers, and trust me, they're running a business. I do suggest you pay them when you have the budget, when you have the money, but always be honest, right? My boy Hook, Damien, that's my guy. I kept it real with him when we had a conversation. When I opened my food truck, he was charging, he charges way more than this now. He was charging $400 a post, I think. I think now he charges like $1,000 or something, or $1,200, maybe even $2,000. I told him straight up, I said, look, Damien, you're a great guy. We're on the phone. I'm like, we're having a conversation. I said, but I can't afford that right now. Sorry, man, I just can't. So appreciate your time. Don't want to take too much of your time. When I get the money, I'll reach out to you. But here, my bad. You got to also build a relationship, right? Because I had such a good phone call with him. I mean, he was also building his brand at the time too. He called me and was like, "Hey, bro, I'm in the neighborhood. Can I come by and get some food?" Yeah, for sure, man. Come get some food. Comes to get some food. Like, hey, can I film a video? I'm like, yeah, sure. Go for it. Post my video. We do 1.4 million views overnight. So it's being honest and transparent, right? I didn't have the money to pay him, and I wasn't sitting there begging him to come for free or trying to be sly and be like, hey, you think you could come and shoot the video and pretending like I'm not going to pay him or anything? No, I just was honest. I don't have the money to pay you. Right? I didn't even know that influencers charge as much. It was crazy. Now, I mean, I pay $400 to $600 on a regular basis, but it's also building a relationship, being real, being honest. They might even be like, hey man, I charge. Unfortunately, I can't come out and do it, but I have some influencers that, they'll come out and do it for you. So at the end of the day, if you build these relationships and you just have a genuine conversation, let them know where you're at in your business. At the end of the day, you're helping them by putting content on their page and putting money into their pocket when you pay, but they're also helping you. So it's a win-win situation. So if you're honest with them, they'll gladly pass on some other influencers that, might do it for cheaper or might even do it for free. So that's definitely one way to get influencers to come try your food, come check your business out, and come show up to your restaurant or food business. Let's see here. How does one find the right business partner? Oh man, I'm not an expert at that one. I've had 3 business partners. I'm on my 3rd business partner, okay? When it comes to business partners, right, I'm honestly and always transparent. If I had money, right, if I had a lot of cash saved up and funds to work with, I mean, I probably wouldn't have needed an investor or a business partner. Just do everything on my own. But I understand that, look, I don't got the money right now, but how do I get to the next step? Well, now I have to find people that have what I need. And very luckily, because I had so much momentum, someone actually reached out to me with a food truck. I was like, hey man, I got a food truck. Like I said earlier, food trucks back then weren't $100,000. That was what, 5 years ago? They were about 60, 70 grand. To me, I'm 23 years old. I'm like working at a restaurant, right? I don't have 60 to 70 grand to just spend on a food truck. Well, this guy hit me up and was like, hey, I have this food truck and I don't want to run it. Do you want to run it? We can do a split. And I'm like, oh yeah. Well, my first thought was, hell yeah. I just got a free food truck. And so it's all about, for me, it's been about leveraging, right? Like if I don't have something to get to the next step and somebody else does, I'm willing to attach myself with that person. And if they can take me to the next level, look, Mark Cuban said it the best. I'd rather own a piece of the watermelon than the entire grape. I want 1,000 restaurants. And if you think I'm getting 1,000 restaurants by myself, I mean, I'd be crazy to think that. So at the end of the day, right, you can go fast by yourself, but you can go far with other people. And you want to build a team with like-minded individuals. One thing is, people with your same core values, same core beliefs. Also you could do a test run with these people. Give a 30-day window. Hey, this is 30 days. Because at the end of the day, there's always the honeymoon phase, right? It's just like a relationship. The first year is great, and then they start showing their true colors, right? And with my first business partner, he was my best friend. I saw true colors maybe 6 months in, and we ended up having a falling out. Then my second business partner, I started seeing his true colors nine months in, and we had another falling out. And then luckily, 3rd time's a charm, I have a business partner now that helped me get into a restaurant, and it's the best decision I've ever made so far, right? And I was crazy when I after first one failing, second one failing, and not necessarily failing because they didn't fail. My first business partner, which is my best friend, got me to we started this business together. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but now I had to get to the next level because I still wanted to keep going. So I found this guy. This guy found me, and he helped me get into a food truck. Now I'm the hottest food truck in Vegas. Was it a failure? I mean, after 9 months, when it didn't work out, you could look at it as a failure, but I look at it as getting me to the next step. Now the 3rd guy got me into a brick and mortar. And I pray that he's the guy that gets me into 1,000 restaurants or can help me get into 1,000 restaurants, and we go up together. That's the goal. That's what it's looking like. But hey, we talk all the time and we go, hey, if there's somebody else that wants to come in and take us to the next level, we are open to it because my vision is big. My dreams are big. And look, here, let's talk about this real quick. Sometimes, I feel like I was put on this earth to build food at a big level. Some people want to just open a restaurant and just work for themselves and just, work a 9 to 5, or sorry, not work a 9 to 5 and just want to work for themselves and are just happy, content with 1, 2 shops, maybe even just one, maybe even just a food truck. That gives people joy in life. Look, at the end of the day, what I truly think is you need to figure out what you want in life and where you see yourself when you're 60, 70, 50, 80 years old, and then just reverse engineer your life like that, right? If you're like, hey, man, I don't want to be stressed out when I'm 60. I kind of just want one shop. I just want it to go good, and I just want to, I just want it to go with the flow and just have something that I can pass on to my kids. Then reverse engineer like that. Just keep your one shop, build it tight, do what you got to do. But then there's guys like me where I'm like, I want 1,000 restaurants. So what do I have to do? I have to work 25/8. And for those that don't know 25/8, it's after 25/7. You work 24/7. Then there's guys like me that work 25/8. So at the end of the day, that's what you really got to think about, right? Like, not everybody's going to want to, build this restaurant brands at this high level, at these high levels, right? But that's truly what Rich Off Food is, right? If you watch any of my other interviews, everybody's meaning of Rich Off Food is different. It doesn't always mean money and monetary. It's rich off life, right? If one restaurant gives you quality of life, you're rich. If that's your goal. So don't think about it too hard. Think about your end goal. Watch my videos. It's going to inspire you. Let's see. Anything else before I head off of here? How easy is it to get? Oh yeah. All right. I'll see y'all. I'm looking swole up in the camera, though. No, I'm just playing. Huh? Talk about it or invite? Uh-huh. So, to wrap this up, Rich Off Food will be one of the biggest brands. We're looking for future guests. We're looking for people in the food space. We're going to be interviewing high-level restaurateurs. If you have any connections to Gordon Ramsay, Guy Fieri, all of the above, let me know. You can shoot us a DM. You can go on our website, fill out our form. We'll book you in for an interview. We're going to be having packages as well, marketing packages. And like I said, man, the goal is just to get rich off food, whatever that means to you. And the goal is to help as many restaurants as possible. There's 7,000 restaurants in Vegas. There's hundreds of thousands in America, and there's millions in the world. And if I can help as many of those as possible, that'll make me feel like I'm rich off food. Catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.